Hey guys, it's Mark with iCards USA. Remember, you can always visit us at iCardsUSA.com. So today I want to talk about grading. Who do you go to get your cards graded? Why do you even mess with it? So on and so forth. So as many of you know, if you look at some of the videos that I've already posted, did little light reviews on a couple grading companies that I've used, and I have more cards going out and some coming back, and I'll do reviews as soon as those get back. But the whole getting things slabbed and so forth, when I came back to the hobby, I didn't really realize how big a deal it was and how many choices there were, and there's just so much to it. So PSA, of course, is the juggernaut. Everybody knows PSA. It's the white label with the red border. 9 times out of 10, if you hear about a card that's sold for an outrageous amount of money, you know, it's a whatever, it's a Patrick Mahomes 10 or LeBron James 10 or blah blah blah. You get the big money because it's a PSA and they're the juggernaut. But there's Beckett. Beckett is very reputable, and you can get some good money for a card there. SGC is pretty good. I actually did a review on SGC. I sent 10 cards out and got those back, and I like the quality. I like the way it feels. So go ahead and check that video out. One of the big ones that's up and coming is HGA. And HGA, I haven't had anything come back from them yet, but I've heard a lot of different things about them. So as a whole, when you're getting slabs, right, the size for the most part is pretty standard. I mean, there might be a little bit of it being a little bit bigger as far as width and length is concerned, but not so much. I mean, when you have, you know, display cases and all that, it's a pretty uniform standard size. So what makes the difference? Well, the difference that I see coming up that's really big is just the overall look. Like I said, PSA has a very basic generic look, right? But they're reputable. They have the reputation, and their ability to grade is really considered to be really in high standard for the most part. Any of you guys that are involved with the hobby, or you go on to Instagram or anything or whatever, there's going to be a lot of talk about who's better and this and that. But PSA is, regardless of what anybody says, PSA is here to stay. I mean, they're big. They're the juggernaut, right? But the thing that's really changing is they're starting to make the labels, like for instance HGA, they're starting to make the labels more colorful and make it more aesthetically pleasing, so that the colors kind of match the card itself. Or let's say you get a card that's Lakers, right? So the label's going to be yellow and purple, that kind of thing. CSG, I did a review on them. They're really known for, they're kind of a conglomerate, right? They're CGC that grades comics, and I'm going to be doing a show on that too, because actually my love of collecting started with comics. But then they spun out, different branch division, if you will, where they're doing the card grading. They seem to be okay, so check out that video on the review. But their label is, you know, is white, and then it has a green border, and some people say the label's too big. I liked it, didn't seem bad. SGC is very nice. It's kind of black background, and so it's a lot of, you know, the aesthetics of it. But when you get into getting a card graded, it depends on, are you wanting it to be preserved, authenticated, and taken care of because it's in your personal collection? It's just something for you, maybe something to hand down to your kids, whatever the case may be. Or are you going to flip it? You know, you got this card, you're going to send it out to get graded, and then you're wanting to make a little bit of money out the deal. Okay, so what I did is I just wanted to see. Now I thought there was only like a dozen, right, grading companies. That's what I thought. That was maybe 10 to 12, and of course those 4 that I mentioned are really kind of like the ones that are the juggernauts and really, like, I guess, respected in the hobby, you could say, on a mass scale. But I went to Instagram, the iCards Instagram, and if you haven't already, definitely check us out there and follow us. So I just put in the little search bar here, grading, and you can see Revolution card grading. I've never even heard of them, right? There's Diamond grading, there's Gems Only Sports that grades, and it's just like there's just a number. Excuse me if I'm not looking at the camera. I got 2 screens here. There's a number of companies, right? One of the ones that I'm interested in, I just got a message. These cards are coming back sometime this week, so hopefully I can get that up, is this company, Transparent Grading Team, right? And so I actually have cards out with them right now. This is their website. They're based out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. All right, it's right there. Like I should be able to read, right? So here's some of what they got going on. And if you notice, we'll just go ahead and just click on one here. If you look at that, that's a clean looking card, right? That's a Trey Lance. They ranked it at a 10. You see how the coloring and so forth kind of goes with the whole holographic feel of the card and that kind of thing. To me, I like the direction that a lot of these are going, where they're starting to be like colorful like that, right? Like it's, it's crazy because a lot of times you open up a card and you're like, man, that's a good looking card. Like I like downtown cards, right? And so I really like how those look. And another one that's hot right now is your Kaboom cards, right? So you have all that artwork and you have those vibrant colors and you have it being a refractor or a cracked ice or whatever the case may be. It's cool that the label can match that now, right? So I think it's good, but in all honesty, you're not going to get the money for your card. You're not. If you're in it to invest, at least not right now. Hopefully that'll change. Let's see what else we got here. Just putting grading back in here. Hopefully that'll change, right? But it won't change unless you guys out there make the change. Because if somebody sees, say, a 9 from PSA on a card, and then somebody sees a 9.5 from another company, not even one of these ones, because these ones forget about it, but say a 9.5 from HGA, they're going to give you more. Typically, people are going to give you more money for the 9 PSA than they are for the 9.5, sometimes even the 10 of an HGA. And why is that? Well, just people hate change for one, but I think companies need to be proven that their grading abilities are really up to snuff, right? And that they're just not handing out these high grades. I think these companies are pretty reputable. Like SGC, they're good. They're good. Beckett, they're good. HGA, I don't know yet, but from what I've seen on blogs, and a couple cards that I've seen at a couple card shows, they look like they're good. It looks like it's in there, right? If they say it's a 9 or 9.5, I think it's valid. But you got to have the buy-in, and money always moves that needle, right? So another company that I want to send some stuff out to is, which I think is actually, this is good, and I'll be surprised. I'll be interested to see where this goes. So AGS. So they do not do sports cards as of yet. What they do is your non-sports cards. So Magic, Marvel, obviously Pokemon. That's a clean looking card. Look at that. That's clean. Now, the label doesn't have all the fancy colors and matching that we were talking about. But AGS, from what I understand, and I've talked to them, I have yet to submit to them, it's all a computer, right? It's like scanned digitally, so a computer dictates, is it truly centered? Is the surface, with no blemish, no marks, no nicks or checks or what have you? And I assume maybe for the corners and the edges, I'm sure there's got to be still some degree of human interaction with this whole process. But I mean, if you want to see if it's really centered, you can't get more reliable or accurate than a computer. I mean, now school me on that if that's not the case. Because I came back into the hobby because I love it. I got a lot of stuff on my PC, but I definitely want to learn more about it because I just find it really interesting. And those of you that know me know it's not about the money. Like, of course, no one's going to turn down the money, but it's really a situation where the hobby, hopefully, if I can get the hobby to take care of itself, then it's a win, right? Can't quit the day job. So AGS, I'm going to send some stuff to them. I got a lot of Marvel cards. I just kind of want to see what's what. TGT was kind of the same thing. I sent some cards to them. Those are back. I haven't received them, but they're being shipped. They're en route. And that's one of those things too, because until that changes, you probably don't want to send, an on-card auto Tom Brady, blah, 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 to one of these companies. Even not saying that they can't do a good job, just saying like, you're not going to get your money for it. Another guy that I've spoken with for the grading, hold on here. Yes. FCG. Now, I haven't submitted anything to them. They're based in Texas, if I'm not mistaken. Now, recently, those of you that are on Instagram, there is there is somebody on Instagram, Card Porn. I'm sure we're all familiar. And there's been a little bit of some back and forth going on with FCG and them. Card porn has kind of said that they're not good quality, and they've kind of whatever. I'm not going to get too deep into that. Not my battle, but from what I've seen, I appreciate what card porn does, because it, like, they out scammers and they out all these people out on eBay. I hate eBay. I mean, like, that's like sacrilege to say in the hobby, but I just don't like eBay for real. Just so much going on with that. I'll do a whole nother video on that. But I still want to submit some cards. The people seem real nice. I've communicated with them via Facebook. They seem real cool. Look, here's this downtown card. Like I said, I love downtown cards. That's a nice card, right? They gave it an 8.5. And I like how they have the subgrades. So the surface, the subgrade was a 7.5. So I think the 8.5, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, this is just on the computer, so until you physically look at the card, you don't know what little blemishes they see or what have you. But I don't see that they wouldn't be reputable. None of these companies. Now, the other piece that needs to happen with these companies, however, is they got to have good communication. Price has to be reasonable, and they got to get it out to you, right? They got to get it out to you in the time frame that they say. If they say 45 to 60 days, it should be in that, regardless. Even with COVID, in my opinion. Because if you know that, then don't promise something you can't deliver. If it's going to take longer than that, then just say that. At least the consumer knows. Because if I need those cards for a show, if I need it for a gift, or whatever the case may be, I'm doing a trade, and you tell me 60 days, and then the card don't come back for 90, you know what I mean? Like, puts me in a bind, puts me in a rough position or whatever. But that is what it is. So anyway, like I said, there's a lot of companies to choose. I mean, way more than I thought. Like, this is clearly, like I said, you go into IG and you put in grading, and it's just gonna pull up like a whole bunch of different companies, like just a lot. And so some of these, when you go to shows, you'll see the logo and you're like, oh, okay, and you can kind of see it. And there's CSG, I've seen HGA, I've seen obviously the big boys, SGC, PSA, Beckett, that kind of thing. There's a couple of them out there that you're like, I'm not familiar with. I think I've seen diamond grading. I'm not 100% sure. That sounds real familiar. But best of luck to these guys, right? Like, I mean, look how many grading companies. This is crazy, right? You just scroll through. It's like going and going and going. It's just grading and grading. So, look, if it's a situation for your personal collection and you just want the look of it, get whoever you need to get. Get whatever you want to get. If you're looking at it from the standpoint of an investment, you're going to want to probably stay with one of the big four houses. But look, PSA, don't even talk to them unless you want to spend $100 or $150 a card. I know there's middlemen out there, but then you're really waiting for it, because what they're doing is they're submitting their cards and cards for like whatever, 20 other people. So they're just dropping 3, 4, 5,000 cards at a pop at a bulk rate with PSA, and I know guys that are doing that now, or that are customers of a process like that now, and they're not, it's been 8-9 months. They still haven't gotten back half a dozen, 10 cards that they wanted. You can submit cards yourself. You just set up an account and do it, and that's what I've done. So I've already sent out 5 batches to 5 different companies. I've done reviews so far on 2 of them already. I got another one I'm going to do. Like I said, TGT's coming. Maybe cost a little bit more money because I don't have that reputation with them, and I'm not sending in that kind of volume. But it's my own, it's my own account. Like, anybody can do it. You don't need a middleman. So hopefully I'm not, blocking somebody out there that's trying to get their bread. But that's just, that's just how it is. But anyway, that's a little bit on grading. As I learn more, maybe I'll do another video. I got some card shop owners that have been in the game out here locally for 20, 30, 40 years, and I want to kind of bring them on the show, talk a little bit more in depth on some of these topics in the hobby. But look, this is Mark with iCards USA. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Really appreciate you. We got a show coming up. I'll get more information out there. Hey, thanks for being here, and until the next time.